Hi everyone, I'm your host Shanae Soletto. We are live with the Circuspreneur podcast today at the World Acrobatic Society induction ceremony, and I am here with the phenomenal Leslie Bush, who is an absolute diving legend. Thank you so much, Leslie, for sitting with us during this amazing ceremony. It was so wonderful to hear you speak earlier.
Oh, thanks.
About your phenomenal career, and you brought a little a medal, I think, with you today from your incredible accomplishments that was so great to see earlier. And could you tell us a little bit about, how you got to be a diving legend?
It was unknown, and then all of a sudden happened. I was 16 at the time, and my coach said, well, there's the Olympic trials. Why don't you just give it a try?
Just the Olympic trials. It's just a small thing, right?
Yeah. And I had no aspirations. I had no goals. I just said, I love diving.
Wow.
So I want to do some of that. And so, you do 4 dives, and they say, you're in the group now.
Right.
And
just off to the Olympics.
2 hours later, I'm thinking, I can't do this. And it's just 1, 2, 3 dives. That's all you got to do.
Right. Just simple.
And they said, oh, yeah, you made the team.
Wow.
And it was just, but all I was doing was something I love. That's all I was doing.
I love that you were talking about that earlier, that you just kept being there and doing what you loved. And you said once you went to the Olympics and you got there, you were like, this is really all that it's about. This is all that I needed to do, is just to arrive at the Olympics.
That's right.
And then you took it further, which again, you dangled that lovely medal in front of us today. And so it culminated in even so much more than you just going to the Olympics.
Yeah.
Well,
and what was the medal, it's fun. That's just plain fun. But to be there, and I'm not being some Pollyanna or anything,
right.
But people from all over the world, there is nothing the same about them except that they had a sport and they did it as hard as they could.
Yes.
People in places that didn't have coaches.
Right.
They were walking on the sidewalks
right.
trying to deal with a marathon.
Right.
So I just took it all in, and I said, there is no place on earth that at least for 2 weeks there's peace.
Yes, world peace.
And everybody's there. And all my friends say, oh, come on, Leslie, are you a dreamer? I said, I saw it.
Yeah, I experienced it.
I saw it.
It can happen through sport, through competition.
Yeah, that's
through
right.
Being united in something that we love.
That's right. And in 1964, I won surprisingly. And in 1968, when I trained for 4 years, I did terribly, bent my knees on the first dive.
Wow.
And they were both just as good. I don't like talking about the last one, but...
I'm sure you didn't do that bad, Leslie. Somebody with your phenomenal Olympic career, and you are a legendary diving legend. And I just want to congratulate you too, Leslie, on being inducted into the World Acrobatic Society
Thank you.
Hall of Fame. And thank you so much for sitting with us.
Thank you too.
Pleasure. Gallimore actually needs no introduction. We are still here with the Circuspreneur podcast at the World Acrobatic Society Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and Ron Gallimore is getting the Lifetime Achievement Award, which is phenomenal. You are just someone who I grew up with.
Oh, wow.
I've known you my entire life, and I'm still very young, so that wasn't that long ago, Ron. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed watching you perform.
Thank you.
Just wonderful.
Thank you. Yeah. But you were so prolific, Ron, in your career. Obviously, as an African American gymnast, you broke barriers. You were the first of many firsts, and then you also had a really interesting experience. You spoke about that earlier. Going to the 1980 Olympics gymnastics, and then, the boycott that happened that year, and then how you had to sustain yourself after that, which I thought was very inspiring. It's a very challenging thing to hear, even of hopes and dreams and working that hard and breaking all those barriers, and then feeling like, where do we go from here?
Sure.
So the culmination of all of this for your Lifetime Achievement Award, you've competed as a gymnast. You've also headed so many different committees and programs within USA Gymnastics, and also too within FIG, and you've revolutionized a lot of these programs over the last 20, 30 years, right?
Yeah, well, you're making me laugh, making me smile. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate all the accolades and comments. It was a wonderful journey, and I try to stay focused on the positive things and the experience for the athletes that were coming behind me, wanting to make sure that we set a beautiful stage for them to compete and bring out their best. And I think just the thing that I learned through all of it is that the road to where you're going is not straight.
Right.
It curves, and
Ooh.
you just have to kind of, stay with it and believe, and you'll get where you're going.
Wow. How do you think that you have, experienced the different levels of diversity over these years too, Ron, with seeing gymnastics change and evolve now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just prolific. It is everywhere.
Yeah.
And you had something to do with that, obviously, from your perspectives and putting in that work and being a part of all these committees.
Well, it's interesting. When I started competing and reached the elite level, gymnastics was just starting to do televised.
Wow.
So it wasn't. We didn't have social media and some of the other things. So I want to feel that because of the exposure that I got, I played a small role in motivating others, to participate in the sport. And I'll tell you, one of my most exciting stories is when I went to South Africa to compete.
Wow.
And I went out and I competed, and of course there were all whites in the stands, but when I got off the apparatus and walked to the side, there were some Afrikaans, and I was like doing this to them, and they're like, "Yeah!" They were so excited to see me out competing, So no, it's been fun. It's been a great journey and a great road, and I'm really happy knowing, because I've been around long enough. I've run across people that have told me the impact that I had on their lives or their kids' life, so it makes me feel good.
Oh, that must be so special. I'm so happy for you, Ron. I'm so happy also, too, that your family was able to come here, too. You spoke so much earlier about how important your family was and how instrumental they were in your success, and we know it takes a village. My family did everything they possibly could to make me what I was, and your family did everything they could to get you to the Olympics, and so it was beautiful hearing you reflect on that.
Well, thank you, and that's my plan for tonight in terms of my message, is to not talk about the accomplishments, but talk about how I got there and the people that inspired me and were there for me when I needed them the most. Because, as we've mentioned, you go through all kinds of emotional states, and it doesn't always happen the way that you think it's going to happen, and you need somebody there to help make sure you're steered in the right direction.
Thank you so much, Ron, and congratulations on your Lifetime Achievement Award. Again, this is Ron Gallimore. Needs no introduction, no outro. Thank you for sitting with us with the podcast. I really appreciate it, Ron.
Thank you. Congratulations.
All right, we are back now with Tatiana Gutsu. If I said it wrong, Tatiana, please.
It's perfect.
Please correct me. But Tatiana is absolutely a legend. She is so prolific in gymnastics, in artistic gymnastics, and you are being inducted for your phenomenal career. It was amazing listening to your stories today about your journey and how, you came from poverty to become an absolute champion. And I can't imagine what that journey was like, but then the way that you've decided to give back and teach and give back to the gymnastics community and your humanitarian work is just really exceptional. So it's been fantastic understanding more about who you are and what got you here. And so what does it mean to you in terms of accepting this award and being inducted as a legend today?
Well, thank you so much for having me on your podcast. I'm honored the same way as I'm honored to receive this incredible award and incredible achievement. Because like I said earlier, without my coaches, I don't think nothing fantastic would come out from their determination and their hard work. So for that, I have to be thankful to my coaches with their dedication and unwavering support.
And your biggest accomplishments were, during a time where, the world was so different. How do you see the different dynamics in terms of when you were able to accomplish that? You didn't have all of the different resources that exist now, and you had, incredible difficulty in the sport of gymnastics. And you took gymnastics to places it had never been before. And you talked about that was really something special about how you like to do gymnastics. You said, I wasn't maybe the most flexible one, but I was really strong and I was really powerful. And what do you think that had to do with, I think like your inner constitution of how you saw yourself excelling in gymnastics?
Again, I think with my mentors who raised me, they helped me to discover the power within. Besides that, I was hungry to win because the second and third place was not an option. Yes, of course. In the beginning, my very first competition, I was probably 100th place, whatever.
Wow.
And I saw those shiny medals and the glow and the victory that kids are experiencing. That was my main one and only goal, to get to the top. Only because growing up in very poor family did not give me many options. Even sharing bed with my sister or sharing food when we had food. And with that, I put tremendous hours and tremendous hard work for me to get better. So when I started traveling to the National Center and to the Ukrainian National Center, it gave me the opportunity to have my own bed. It gave me the opportunity not to share the towel. It gave me the opportunity to actually have my own plate and to have food. So that's a big deal to thrive and not survive.
Yes.
Which is today. I was talking about that.
Well, thank you so much, Tatiana, for joining us on the Circuspreneur podcast today. We are honored to honor you and in your induction into the Acrobatic World Society Hall of Fame as a legend. And thank you for sitting with us. And you are just absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you so much for having me, and good luck. Thank you.
And we are back. We are sitting with the Circuspreneur podcast. I'm your host, Shanae Stiletto, and we are live, everyone, with Stacey Hansen. And you are being inducted, Stacey, into the World Acrobatic Society Hall of Fame. And can you tell listeners a little bit about why you're being inducted? You have done and do so much for WAS. You have been a guest on the podcast previously, and so you help this ship to continue to run, and you make sure that we're all, honored in these wonderful ways. So what does this mean to you, and what is this honor for you being bestowed?
Well, I'm receiving the Charlie Pond Service Award.
Okay.
And it's because I am the secretary of the organization. I'm also the chairperson for the Gallery of Legends and Hall of Fame. I run registration and I do all kinds of things for this event to make sure it happens. And it means a lot to me. I'm absolutely honored to be a part of this.
And we can tell that it means a lot to you, Stacey. I mean, everyone is near and dear to your heart, and how serious everyone takes the induction ceremony, and how serious you guys take who gets honored, and the level of careers is just really exceptional. And making sure that everyone feels special, and this is like a labor of love. I think you've told me in the past too, is why you support WAS and why you've been a part of WAS, and you continue. What is important to you in terms of the extension of WAS, continuing, and then the work that you're doing?
Oh gosh, well, I know this organization was really forged on friendships. And it started because we all understand what it feels like to flip and balance across these disciplines,
Yeah.
And so if we all have that in common, we should all be coming together and celebrating each other, and we keep the history alive through this organization. So that's why it's important to me. And I've loved gymnastics my whole life, so.
And everyone loves you, and that's why they wanted to honor you, because you do so much. And I feel like you almost probably don't even want the award. You're like, oh, not me.
I did say no.
I bet you did. I bet you did say no, but you deserve it. And I'm glad that you're accepting it, and thank you for sitting down with us. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the ceremony today. It's absolutely gorgeous the entire time. The entire day has been absolutely beautiful. So thank you so much, Stacey, and we honor you.
Sure, thank you so much.
Okay, we are back. I'm Shanae Stiletto, and this is Circuspreneur Podcast. We are still going live at WAS, the World Acrobatic Society Hall of Fame induction ceremony, and this is Stephen Gluckstein. Did I say it right, Stephen?
Close, Gluckstein.
Gluckstein. Okay, thank you for reminding me. And you are a trampoline legend. Being inducted, you have absolutely amazing career. I loved hearing your story and your journey today. It was very sweet about how you got into trampoline and the stories and the different experiences that you had with your parents and putting you into something and then it just you became very renowned in trampoline. You broke some barriers in trampoline. So could you tell listeners a little bit about that?
Where do you all of it? So
Well,
what do you want me to be?
all right. But there was some things in trampoline that had not been done before, and you were instrumental in achieving those things.
Oh, absolutely. And you know what? I wouldn't say that they've never been done before because trampoline was invented in the United States of America or by George Nissen, right? And trampoline was the United States was the best in the world back in the 60s and 70s, and then the Soviets came up and the Chinese came up, and so it wasn't until like my generation that we started to really kind of put the United States back on the map in trampoline, and even now past me, they're climbing that ladder, getting even closer to the Russians and the Belarusians and the Chinese.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, you had your Olympics. You also too were competing against your brother at one point for a spot, which was a great story. I used to compete with my brothers and sisters, and we actually competed together, so we were going along the same
much
lines.
Nicer.
Acrobatic gymnastics,
Yeah.
much nicer. But in reflecting on that journey, Stephen, in terms of where you took trampoline and these generations later, what does it mean to you to be inducted as a trampoline legend? Again, with the prolificness of trampoline as it is now.
It feels strange, right? Like I feel like
And you're
there's
very
so
young.
many. Right, I'm very young, but I look at some of these people that were literal pioneers of trampoline.
Yeah.
The very first world champion ever is here tonight for trampoline,
Amazing.
and tumbling. And so, like for me, I feel like I'm just a nobody, but it's
amongst them now.
exactly
For your
right, and
achievements.
it's such a great honor to be even in the same conversation as some of these amazing athletes.
And what do you think is the importance of honoring, our legends in acrobatic sport, in terms of highlighting, the different levels of accomplishments with all of our disciplines, intertwined and kind of supporting each other?
Absolutely, and I think it's fantastic, especially because we have so much in common, right? And I think it's great also what the society is doing is keeping history alive, And I ask some of my athletes that are now teenagers, I'm like, oh, I'm going to see this person and this person and this person. They're like, who? And I'm like, no, right? Like
I do the same thing.
this, you have to know this is where our sport came from.
Yes.
And you can only know where it's going from where it came from. And the reason why the rules are the rules today are because these people were doing these skills and these routines and blazing the path for you. And so it's just amazing that we can do it not only for trampoline and tumbling, but for diving and for acro and bring all of these together. And it's been a pleasure for me also to learn about the legends in other sports, and I definitely have some homework to do once I get home to learn even more,
Yeah, this has been a really great education, and this is a great education for the world of acro out there. Look up Stephen and see just, all the amazing things that he's done. There's too many accomplishments for us to go into because our podcast interview is so short with him, but Stephen gives back. You're very involved in the sport, and that's a really, wonderful, fantastic thing. And you are, promoting the next generation, which is really fantastic to hear.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we are back, and we are here with Michael Rodriguez and Kristen Allen, my acrobatic besties. I am so excited out of all the things, for me to do the podcast and then for you guys to be inducted. I'm so excited. You guys are such champions and such legends for acrobatic gymnastics, for everybody out there. We're a very small community and a small world, so it's very special to be able to, sit here and be here while you guys are being honored. So can you tell listeners a little bit about what it means to you to be honored, based upon all of your accomplishments as a mixed pair? We love mixed pair. And by the way, we go way back. Obviously, you can tell we've known each other for many years. So we all knew each other before we were world champions. And so it's great seeing ourselves on the other side.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel so honored to be here and included in such a huge group of legends, and it's not just like our own discipline, and to be part of something that's stretching into all the disciplines is really, really cool. It's like, and it's like from the world, people from all over the world, not just like USA, but like everywhere and all the disciplines. So it's just really, really cool that it's such a big group of people and that we're getting to be included with such an amazing group of legends. Really.
Yeah.
It really is. And just to see so many people that we've gotten to know over the years, like Stephen Gluckstein and Ron Gallimore and you. It just, it just shows you how deep the community goes and how many people have contributed to our shared success. And it's really inspiring for us to be here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. You know, Michael, you shared a lot earlier about how you went from partner to partner to partner. Like your journey was not an overnight success, right? Like you never stopped. You kept going. Kristen, you talked about writing, I'm going to be a world champion every single day, you know, on the road to being there. So can you talk a little bit about, you know, believing in yourself and that level of tenacity? Because you have to speak it into being, and both of you absolutely did. And you like made it with one another in a way that you didn't expect, really, right?
Definitely. I mean, for me, it was one of those things, like, I remember something my dad said, and it wasn't in a mean way at all. It was totally in just like a straightforward, normal, just like, there's always going to be somebody out there trying harder than you. There's always going to be out there somebody out there better than you. And it wasn't meant to be like a destructive thing, but it made me think like, you know, you're right. So if I want to be the best, I've got to keep going. I can't stop, because the moment I stop, they're going to keep getting better.
Yeah.
So I just kept going and going, whatever it took. And it was one of those things where I didn't care if I had to live in a weird building. And I didn't care if I had to, like, you know, if I had to wear the you know, the same old tennis shoes so I could pay for the next leotard. Like, I didn't care, because it was all for that ultimate goal, and that journey was so enjoyable for me, even though it was so hard.
I feel that.
Yeah, I just enjoyed it so much, and I wasn't gonna stop until the journey was done. Yeah.
A testament to that. Never give up. Kristen?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the thing, is like, you go after these big, audacious goals, and I think so many people don't realize how many times you have to try to achieve that goal before you actually get it. And, you know, Michael had a bronze at the World Championships. Together, we got silver at the World Championships, and we lost by, I think, 100th of a point.
I know the feeling.
To Russia. Yeah. And,
once or twice.
You know, and we were disappointed after 2008 Worlds. We were like, this wasn't our, you know, we have a silver medal, but this wasn't our goal.
Right.
And I think that's really, you know, it's just about going again, you know, and we won the World Games the next year, and still we were like, we have more to do, you know. And when we went for our last World Championships, the training was so hard that last year. We said, like, this is it. I don't think we have another one in us after this. And so if we don't do it this time, I don't know if we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to have, for me, it was 10 years, door to door. But, you know, and for you, 15 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so to have 10 years of your life boil down to 2.5 minutes.
Oh my.
And for us, like, we knew going into that it was going to be our last World Championships. It was our shot.
Yeah.
And we had the silver, then we had the gold at the World Games, and we were there, and we were like, this is it. This is, and to keep your head in the game in those for 2.5 minutes, you know, 10 years for one shot.
All you
like
have.
it's not about who's the best, right? Like there's probably
timing
at that time in the world, there were probably 10 other pairs that were as good as us, but it's about who can do it in the moment, on the day, and show up the best. And I think that it's where, you know, we all have the same kind of level of physical ability, but that's where the mental piece of it comes in, and it's trusting each other, where he didn't have to worry about my job that I was going to perform on that day and in that moment. He could just worry about doing his job, and I could worry about doing mine. And I think that was the power of our partnership.
Agreed. I was going to say that we went into that last competition 110% prepared. We did not go in there with any question in our mind that we weren't going to do our best.
Yeah.
Which is rare. Like, it's hard to get to that level and get to that competition and be like, oh man, we know we're going to do this.
Right.
And
Yeah.
we believed in each other and we believed in our preparations and we were just ready.
There
We
was
were like,
no doubt that
Yeah.
he wasn't going to do what he needed to do and that I wasn't going to do what I needed to do.
Well, you guys are so inspiring, and thank you so much for sitting down with the Circuspreneur podcast. I'm so excited, and I honor you in your amazing career and your amazing journey. I'm so happy to be here. Everyone, this is Kristen Allen and Michael Rodriguez, acrobatic gymnastics legends.
Thank you, Shanae. Yeah, legend right here.
And we're back. We're still live at the World Acrobatic Society induction ceremony. I'm your host, Shanae Stiletto, and this is Circuspreneur podcast live. And I am with the action sports legend of 2025, Gary Hedrick. Gary, oh my gosh, you have such a phenomenal story. It was so amazing listening to you earlier. You were so funny in talking about the various adventures that you went through within your entire, prolific career. And yeah, you went through a lot of different nuances there, didn't you?
I sure did. It all, as I said, it all started with diving off the house on the kitten brother's arms catching me.
Of
and then
course,
took
as
off.
we do. From that to legend.
Yeah, you never could tell we were going to end up after that.
Who knew?
Yeah.
So what does it feel for you, Gary, the culmination of your entire career, being honored by WAS and being, amongst other legends and reflecting on your career, reflecting on your life and all the different, things that kind of had to go right for you to be able to get here in a career in terms of action sports, or gymnastics or diving or any of those things, we go through so many challenges to be able to do what we want to do. And you really just, were to your own beat, I would say, within your career.
I've always been kind of a funny person and a competitor.
Yeah.
And I've tried not to go away from being afraid of something.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through the progressions, it'll happen. And then after you get to a certain point, you mature to something else, and this happens. And then the next happens, and, just kind of falls in place. But as far as being inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's just a combination of everything, and it just touches me.
And what do you think, that you would like to leave those that are, in the action sports world, Gary, in the acrobatics world, in terms of trying to become legendary,
Just work hard, do the right thing when you don't think anybody's looking.
That's a good one.
Growing up, our coach was Mr. Dykeman, and it's always be polite. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Thank you, ma'am, all that kind of stuff. And it pays off because people respond to kindness more than they do just, that's a word in Texas.
Well, and that's what makes you a legend. You had everyone just laughing and cracking up earlier during your speech. It was so special. Can you highlight just maybe one of the challenges, that you faced throughout your career, Gary, that you felt like you overcame to get to where you are now throughout your career?
With the Bud Light Daredevils, it's a professional acrobatic slam dunk show, combination of gymnastics and slam dunks. Off of many trampolines, we did college, pro, and European basketball games. And we have a 7-minute choreographed routine.
That's long.
And yeah, it's long. And I've got size 28 legs. And out of the blue, the third season I was on it, the owner, Ty Cobb, not the baseball player,
Okay.
but he says, okay, we're going to have everybody this season run a sub 6-minute mile.
Wow.
And Keith's legs were this tall, and my legs were this tall.
Mine were that tall.
And so I went back to Amarillo, Texas, and started training. I started out at 8 minutes.
Wow.
And my mom and dad lived in the country, so I said, Dad, follow behind me. Every 10th of a mile, honk, and I'll check my time. So this went on for a couple of months, and I think I only got to like 6 minutes, 45 seconds.
Oh.
So we get to the training for the mile, and I asked Ty, says, please don't make me run around the oval track. I'll hit 3 3/4 laps, and I'll hit the wall.
Whatever you do.
And I did. I just stumbled, lost all oxygen. He goes, okay, I'll find point A and point B, and we'll do a straight line. And I did it in 4 minutes, 48 seconds, or 5 minutes, 48 seconds.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Get out.
But all the other guys around the oval, they were throwing up. I didn't throw up, but but I still made it.
Been there.
That's probably the hardest thing I had to deal with.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Gary, for sitting with us. We're
Anytime.
so, happy to honor you with your incredible career, being inducted today as a absolute legend in action sports. And, it's just been so wonderful celebrating you today.
Well, thank you.
I'm looking forward to hearing your speech later on tonight, too.
Well, I just hope I can bring a smile to somebody.
You always do. Get going. Was that your mom?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
your mom.
I know, right?
And her name is Judy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
She's
really
the
special.
legend of all legends.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow! What is the background of your mom? We can discuss that too.
Yeah. So, well, she's a 10-time world champion. So,
10-time world champion, Dr. Jerry Michael Klein's mother.
Yes.
Miss Judy.
Yep,
Is a
and-
10-time world
10-time world champion. Yeah.
Wow.
So I grew up in her shadow, and
world champion in what?
she was a trampolinist.
I'm sorry.
She did. Yeah, right.
I'm sorry. I even have to ask. I should know.
No, yeah,
Wow.
she's a trampolinist. Won the first world championships. Yep,
Wow.
in London, I think it was.
Wow.
And went on the next 4 years in a row, 5 years, won championships. She won in tumbling as well.
Wow.
In fact, she had, I don't think she ever lost a tumbling competition.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah, she was amazing. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
so
one of a kind.
You come from a dynasty because everyone kept talking about how you come from this legendary family.
True, yes.
And so now that I understand more, oh my gosh. So when was your mom inducted into WAS?
She was in the first class. I'm not sure which year that was, but it's
96?
Okay, yeah.
1996.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just shy of about almost 30 years now here.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So she was in the first class, and she's in the Hall of Fame for USA Gymnastics and Southern Illinois University, where she went to school. And
Okay.
in fact, they're having a reunion, or actually, their whole team is being inducted as a team into the Hall of Fame because they were that good.
Wow.
Back in the '60s. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Well, I'm so excited that your mom is here to see you receive the Golden Achievement Award.
Yeah.
You're the Golden Achievement legend. You're also a doctor now. You also, were in the military. You have a very high status. You're a colonel, right?
right, yeah.
I'm saying that correctly.
That's right,
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're
because
good.
You've had a very, very, very interesting evolution to your career.
Yeah.
And so can you let us know a little bit, Jerry, Dr. Jerry, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
about, the evolution that you had through sport
Yeah.
into medicine
Yeah.
and then also into the military.
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm a very spiritual person. I believe I was given a passion to be a gymnast, and it's all I could see growing up with my mom. Being so successful and wanted to be an Olympian, and so I did the training. I put in the time. I knew that you had to get good grades, and when I was growing up, collegiate gymnasts, male gymnasts were the ones who went to the Olympics. So I knew I needed to get into college. And somewhere along the way, I fell in love with healthcare and medicine. And no one in my family had been in any field of medicine before.
Wow.
And so as I was in college, I was making some choices and wanted to go into medical school and really pursue that. And honestly, the lessons you learn as an athlete, character development, discipline, failure, getting up every time you fall, making mistakes, and not letting that dictate your future. All these things, injuries that you come back from. Those are all great lessons for me, and my college experience with Coach Lou Burkle there was really formative in terms of gymnastics is pretty much an individual sport until you get to world competitions, Olympics, but in college as well. And so, and he just really developed that teamwork in me and helped me see that my success can come through the success of other people. And that radically changed the way I live.
You sound so grateful, and in your in your talk earlier when you're speaking about the different journeys of your life, and also to what you're doing now in terms of giving back is very, very special. And so you're taking that I think the spirit of that journey with you, which I love to see such accomplished people doing that. Because you have so much to give. You have so much life experience. Working through all of those incredible journeys to get to where you are now and to get to where you want it to be.
That's right.
It's not easy.
It is not.
We all talk about it now,
That's right.
it just happened, but it's not easy. And I think that you put, phenomenal perspective on that.
Yes, it's the same thing with podcasting, right? Like anybody can do a podcast. No, you can't. You have to work hard at it, and you're going to fail a lot, and you're going to, you have to be able to persevere through those things. And people telling you, this isn't the right topic, or right?
Right.
But because of your athletic experience, none of that is that's all noise to you, right? You're just gonna push through that. And it's been the same for me after my military career and retiring. I've decided to do some things that are hard, and most people tell me that it can't be done. And so, but for me, it's a calling on my heart and something that I want to do. And I don't see failure as an option. For me, failure is quitting, right? Or not starting, right?
Right.
That's what, if you're too afraid to start something, that's failure. If you don't get up when you fall, if you quit, that's failing. But if you never achieve your goal, but you never stop trying, you're a success. That's the path I'm on right now.
Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Dr. Terry.
Yeah.
We honor you.
Thank you.
You're so incredible and so amazing. It was so wonderful listening to your story today, and I'm so excited to see you get inducted. Thank you so much for sitting down with the Circuspreneur podcast.
Yes.
This was our last honoree of the night, folks. We are going to sign off on our Instagram Live. Thank you so much for joining us. These legends are, breathtaking, and you'll be able to learn even more about them in the show notes, and then I'll be linking their videos from the induction ceremony as well. This is just a snippet of their incredible careers, and you'll learn so much more and get so inspired by these acrobatic legends. So thank you, everyone. I'm your host, Shanae Stiletto, and we are back with the Circuspreneur podcast and with the legendary Michelle Rios of the Rios Brothers, the professional acrobatics legends that are being inducted during the World Acrobatics Hall of Fame ceremony. Today we are live, and it's an honor and a pleasure to be with you, Michelle. You are incredible. He is a carry-in for all of our circus folks out there. You know what I'm talking about. He's an original. He's an absolute original. Yeah, and he also has a book, The Unlikely Life of an Acrobat, his memoir. And where can we get your book, Michelle?
Where I did what?
Where can we get your book, your memoir?
Online.
Online?
Yeah.
Okay, is it on Amazon?
On Amazon too.
On Amazon too. So, if you're interested, I heard a little bit about Michelle's, incredible story, bouncing all over the world, doing a carry-in with his brother from his very humble beginnings, growing up to the stages of the Lido, to the Winter Garden in Berlin, to Circus Krone,
Right.
Circus Knie, Monte Carlo. There is nothing that Michelle did not do. And so, Michelle, can you provide a little bit of just a taste of what it was like for your incredible journey to legendary?
Taste. You really asking virtually in 10 seconds saying something I did for 40 years. We, like you said, it was very humble beginning. Yes, we were begging, passing the hat on the street just to eat until luckily somebody, we started rehearsing a carrying. Good, not so good, not so bad. But some agent came, passed by, saw us, and he said, if you do a little bit of effort on the costumes, on the music fitting, think about ballet. Not just having a background music, just having music who fits the tricks. And you change the tricks, you change the music. And anyway, we understood that, and right away we were hired at the Moulin Rouge and a royal performance for the Queen of England and King of Spain. We were lucky enough to refuse jobs.
Wow. Yes.
That was, it is lucky. It is lucky because being at the right place at the right time. We could have continued being in a small little flea circus all our life, and just somebody comes there and give us a direction to follow, and we did follow it, change our life. Totally.
What did it mean to you to put all of that into the unlikely life of an acrobat? I mean, it's not easy to,
Unlikely is the right word. Unlikely. It was not destined to happen. It automatically evolves into other things and became show producers because we met people in high places because thanks to the act and they hired without even knowing that we were capable. We did our first big show was an ice show only because my brother's wife was an ice skater So he said, why not an ice which you can choreograph? And we buy these costumes and we had another career.
And it's just, I think it's a generation upon generation. We all stand on each other's shoulders, and we definitely stand on yours. In terms of starting circus at that time, in terms of background, we all come from everywhere, which I think is so special about what we do.
That's true. What else can you ask me?
I can ask you a million questions all day long, Michelle. You told some really funny stories earlier, which to most people wouldn't really sound funny. But you talked about just, again, the perseverance of being in the circus where the show must absolutely go on, and what it was like having a career over that many years. You talked about, your brother one time was doing a show and he broke his collarbone. And then at one point, his arm was
jiggling around his arm because he was afraid to leave the stage, and our father maybe smack him because he wasn't careful. Or anyway, he was more afraid of our father than the accident. He thought it'd be okay. Then the worst thing is when he came off the stage, my father took his arm and say, okay, it's just out of joint, we put it back, and made it worse.
Again, that comes back to, what it takes, to have a career like we have, and, inside of the circus, what it needs to maintain, I think, that level of audacity inside of a career. It's not for everyone. And you were performing all the way up until your 50s, you said, and you even broke your nose at one point, towards the end of one of your performances, and continued on.
We grew up in a way, it's like you have to finish your act no matter what, because the other performers in the wings might not be ready to come on and have a hole in the show because 2-3 minutes have passed because I fixing my nose or my brother picking up his arm. So because of the show must go on all the time. The show must go on.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. You are absolutely amazing. I'm so excited to read your book, The Unlikely Life of an Acrobat. This is just a small segment. I'm listening to Michelle earlier.
Advertising me on top of it.
Oh, of course, all day, every day. You are so beautiful listening to your speech.
Thank you.
And you'll truly learn so much more about Michelle's incredible circus career. You're being inducted, as you should. You're legendary, and we honor you, Michelle.
Thank you very much. It was very nice of you to call me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.